number of actors.
Who's gonna help you now, crazy?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Episode Breakdown. I'm Oliver. If you thought Welcome to Derry was holding back, Episode 6, In the Name of the Father, just dropped a truth bomb that reshaped everything we thought we knew. We're talking major origin stories, heartbreaking betrayals, and a cliffhanger that had me yelling at my screen. So grab your popcorn, maybe a security blanket to clutch, because today we're diving deep into all the spoilers, all the reveals, and all the terrifying implications of what just went down in Derry. Before we get started, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our breakdowns. And trust me, the title In the Name of the Father has never been more chilling. Let's start at the very beginning with that stunning, haunting black and white cold open. We're at the Juniper Hill Asylum in 1935, and a young staff member, who we'll soon learn is a 27 years younger Ingrid Kirsch, wakes a terrified little patient named Mabel. Mabel's been having visions. She's been talking about a clown in the pipes who wants to show me his carnival. But Ingrid isn't there to comfort her. No, she's got a strange, intense curiosity. She asks Mabel where the clown said to meet, and then she leads the scared little girl down to the basement boiler room. In the gloom, we get the only splash of color in the entire sequence, a single sickly red balloon. And from the shadows, Pennywise emerges. But Ingrid doesn't scream. She doesn't run. She watches, captivated, her lips parting in a whisper, "Papa." She recognizes the clown's face as her long-lost father. What follows is a horrific chase. Mabel is caught and devoured while Ingrid escapes, peeking through a door at the carnage with a look that's more like awe than terror. Later, the entity appears at her window, but it's not in the form of the monstrous Pennywise. It's in the benign, human form of Bob Gray, Bill Skarsgård without the makeup. He calls her little pumpkin, says he's missed her, and asks her to let him in. And a deluded, ecstatic Ingrid smiles and opens the door. This right here is the tragic, foundational sin of Ingrid Kirsch. Her lifelong grief has been masterfully manipulated by it. The entity used a likeness of her beloved father, a carnival performer named Bob Gray who called himself Pennywise the Dancing Clown, to turn her into its eternal procurator of children. She's been feeding it for decades, all for the hollow promise of getting her papa back.
Pumpkin, it's me, Papa.
The episode proper kicks off in the aftermath of the deadly sewer expedition, and the emotional fallout is immediate. In the Hanlon household, Major Leroy is a furious, grieving wreck. He blames his son Will for the death of his best friend Polly and orders him confined to the army base. Will, embodying the very lessons of bravery and friendship his father taught him, fights back. He throws Leroy's own words in his face. "You always told me that a man should never hide from trouble. That what makes left count are the friends you make and the risks you take." It's a brutal, heartbreaking confrontation. Will shouts, "I know I'm not you because I know I would never let my friends die." And that's the line that breaks Leroy. He delivers a shocking, hard slap that knocks Will to the ground. Devastated, Will sobs, "It's gotten to you too," before fleeing on his bike. This scene is a masterclass in showing how fear corrupts even the best intentions, turning a father's protective love into something violent and destructive.
I've got friends now, Dad. I've got friends and they need me, and I'm gonna be there for them just like you.
Meanwhile, the Losers Club is splintering. At the standpipe, Lily shows off the strange star-shaped dagger she pulled from the sewers, convinced it's a weapon that can hurt Pennywise. But Ronnie, traumatized and furious over her father's plight, has had enough. She turns on Lily, calling her crazy and blaming her for leading them into the sewers. The argument turns vicious, with each girl saying they wish they'd never met. Rich tries to intervene, yelling the line that's a direct, beautiful echo from Beverly March from the 2017 film. "Guys, can't you see this is what it wants, to turn us against each other?" But his plea fails. The group fractures and Pennywise scores a massive victory without even showing up.
Can't you see? This is what it wants, to turn us against each other.
As the kids deal with their drama, the adults are facing horrors of their own. Vic Halloran is in a bad way. He retreats to the Black Spot, the new social club for black airmen, seeking solace in a bottle. He's horrified to learn that Charlotte has hidden the fugitive Hank Grogan in a back room there. Dick, with his psychic senses screaming, knows this is inviting disaster.
"I think that you are inviting a whole lot of hurt up in here."
Later, a drunken, haunted Dick is visited by Leroy, and one of the episode's best scenes. Dick explains the true cost of his shine. Since childhood, he could see ghosts. His grandmother taught him to visualize a mental lockbox to shut the visions away. But down in the sewers, Pennywise ripped the lid off and laughed as it all spilling out. Now he's constantly surrounded by the dead. When Leroy, still obsessively focused on General Shaw's military mission, pressures him to use this torment to find the mystical pillars, a fed-up Dick calls him what he is, a bootlicker.
Goddamn thing forced itself into my head, ripped that lid off, and laughed as it all came spilling out.
Amidst all this darkness, we get a beautiful ray of light, the budding romance between Rich and Marge. At the standpipe, Rich helps Marge change the bandage on her wounded eye and tells her it's the coolest thing he's ever seen. Later, he gives her an antique eye patch, playfully dubbing them a pirate and a knight. Their affection gives Marge the courage to finally stand up to her former friends, the Pattycacks. When they mock Rich, she proudly declares herself a freak and reveals her damaged eye to shock them into retreating. It's a fantastic moment of self-acceptance and strength.
Patty,
Margaret?
I am a freak.
Charlotte, trying to do right, brings Will and the despondent Ronnie to the Black Spot for a reunion with Hank. The father-daughter moment is tearful and tender, with Hank vowing they'll never be separated again. But the sanctuary of the Black Spot is already under threat.
What's important is that we're together and we're gonna stay together. Ain't no one gonna keep us apart ever again.
Now for the episode's jaw-dropping centerpiece. Isolated and terrified after another hallucination, Lily goes to the only adult she thinks she can trust, Ingrid Kirsch. Finding the door unlocked, she explores the attic and discovers a trove of nightmares, clown costumes, wigs, and old photo albums. The photos reveal the truth. A young Ingrid with her father, a carnival performer whose face is unmistakably that of Bob Gray, the original Pennywise. She even finds the wig and costume Ingrid wore to stalk them in the cemetery. Ingrid arrives and, seeing Lily's realization, becomes bizarrely elated. "Have you seen him? You brought him back," she exclaims. In a long, chilly monologue delivered brilliantly by Madeline Stowe, Ingrid lays out her tragic, twisted backstory.
So that was you.
Her father, Bob Gray, was the real Pennywise the dancing clown, and she adored him. He was taken from her. The entity likely killed him and stole his identity. She stayed in Derry, drawn to the town, and took a job at Juniper Hill. After overhearing Mabel in 1935, she orchestrated that basement meeting, hoping to see her father again. The entity manipulated her grief, appearing as Bob Gray and convincing her he was trapped inside a shadow. It promised that if she helped it feed, her real father could break free and return to her. Ingrid sees the children of Derry as necessary sacrifices. She even tries to weaponize Lily's own grief by asking, "If you could see your father again, wouldn't you do everything you could to make that happen?" Horrified and utterly betrayed, Lily does the only thing she can. She slashes Ingrid's hand with the Stardanger and flees into the night. A bloody handprint on her back screaming into the wind, her last potential ally is gone. All she has left is her weapon. As
Oh, you know what they say about Derry, dear? No one who dies here ever really dies.
Lily escapes her personal nightmare, a much larger, human-made horror is coming together. Across Derry, the Hangrogan has evolved into a full-blown racist villaginary movement. Drunk, armed white men are canvassing the town. The disgraced Chief Clint Bowers, looking to regain standing, gets an anonymous tip about Hank's location, and my bunny is on Ingrid being that tip. He rallies a mob who don terrifying clown masks and leads them towards the Black Spot.
Grogan, I know where he's hiding, and it ain't the rail yards. A lady called in a tip.
Meanwhile, inside the club, there's a final, fleeting moment of peace and joy. Will and Ritz and Mart have shown up to try and convince Ronnie to rejoin the fight. The airmen and their guests are dancing to light music. In a controversial but lighthearted scene, a bartender spikes Rich and Marge's cokes with alcohol, calling them Air Force cokes. Then Rich gets on the drums and proves to be a talented musician, impressing everyone, especially Marge.
Hey, Sticks, you play?
Oh, come on. I've never seen you play before. What's a couple more minutes?
But the mood shatters. As a haunted, they call her on drinks in the corner, and Will pleads with a resistant Ronnie and protective Hank. We see the scene outside. The episode ends on a massively tense cliffhanger, as the masked mob led by Bowers arrives en masse and surrounds the Black Spot.
You expecting more people tonight?
What's wrong with these people?
For book fans, this is it. This is the setup for the historical Black Spot fire, one of Derry's great tragedies from Stephen King's novel, where a racist mob burns the club to the ground. The only two people we know for sure survive are Dick Halloran and young Will Hamlin. The implication is clear. A horrific catastrophe is seconds away. So, what does it all mean? Let's break down the big takeaways. Ingrid's origin is complete. She's not just a creepy lady, she's Periwinkle, a deluded accomplice who's been actively stalking the kids, believing she's saving her father. This connects all the way back to the little clown girl we saw in the 1908 Carnival flashback. Pennywise's long game. The entity doesn't just scare kids, it cultivates human agents over decades by exploiting their deepest emotional wounds. The dual evils of Derry. The episode masterfully draws a parallel. The supernatural evil of Pennywise and the very human, racist evil brewing in Derry are about to converge and feast on the same fear and violence at the Black Spot. As one recap put it perfectly, for the people in that bar, this is a nightmare. But for Pennywise, this is Thanksgiving. Fractured unity. The Losers Club is more divided than ever. Ronnie is out, Lily is isolated and betrayed, and their disunity is Pennywise's greatest victory so far. Episode 6 was a powerhouse. It traded cheap jump scares for profound character arc and set a devastating historical tragedy into motion. The bonds of fatherhood, loving, hurtful, and monstrous, were the true monsters this week. What did you think of the Ingrid Kirsch reveal? Are you terrified for everyone at the Black Spot? Scream your thoughts into the comments below. Let's chat. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the deep dive and subscribe to Episode Breakdown so you don't miss our breakdown of what's sure to be an explosive Episode 7. I'm Oliver, thanks for watching, and remember, in Derry, no one who dies ever really dies. See you next time.